This meeting, which is hereby called to order, is in compliance with the notice requirements of the law. Public notice was posted in the office of the Board of Education and communicated to the municipal clerk, the Daily Record, and the Star Ledger on May 16, 2019.
Yes, before we begin the meeting tonight, I would like to invite you to join the Board of Education in a moment of silence to mourn the victims of the mass shootings in Dayton and in El Paso. Many of the victims in El Paso were Latinx families shopping for school clothing and supplies. We join our greater community in the commitment to keep our students safe from hate crimes and gun violence. And we invite you to review our resolution in support of gun control and mental health services and have made copies which are available by tonight's sign-in sheet.
Buenas noches, esta noche queremos anunciar que queremos dedicar un momento de silencio a las familias impactadas por las masacres de Dayton y El Paso. Gracias. Muchas de las víctimas del Paso eran familias latinas. Muchos estaban comprando sus cosas para empezar la escuela. Queremos que nuestra comunidad en lo grande esté con nosotros, con el compromiso de asegurar o tener asegurancia de nuestros hijos contra los crímenes de odio y la violencia de las armas. Le invitamos que por favor repasen nuestras pólizas, nuestra resolución acerca del control de las armas y de los servicios de salud mental. Hemos puesto copias cerca de la agenda, por favor les invito a que la revisen.
Thank you.
If you want to join me for a flag salute, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Buenas noches a todos. Good evening all. The board recognizes the value of public comment on education.
Ms. Rosales?
Present.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Ms. Mullen? Here. Mrs. Nutting? Here. Mrs. Phillips? Here. Ms. Ruiz? Here. Dr. Sainer? Present. Ms. Pelesi?
Here. I just want to quickly, before we go forward with the meeting, remind everyone that, as you probably figured out and can see, Ms. Pelesi is participating electronically in the meeting tonight, as is permitted by board policy, and she went through the proper process to get that approved for tonight, because she's at a remote location, and so that's why we have the figure here. And so it's, again, consistent with board policy.
Thank you. So as you see, I'm eager to hear from the public. We recognize the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters. To ensure a fair and orderly expression of such comment, each standing shall be held held to a time period of 3 minutes. Public comments limited to items on this agenda only shall be entered for approximately 30 minutes upon the discretion of the proceeding officer. 3 minutes. Total 30 minutes. Janice? Oh, public, please.
Anyone on the agenda?
Seeing no hands. Close the public portion then.
I move that we approve the regular and executive session minutes from July 16th.
Second.
I have a question now that there has been a motion and a second regarding the minutes. I'm wondering if we can make an amendment to have the minutes separated into 2 separate motions. The first comment that I have is I believe that there is an error in the minutes for the public session of that meeting, because Ms. Grisales was running the meeting and she closed the portion of the meeting to the public, and it says Ms. Pelestis.
We actually corrected that already.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Pelestis. Yes, we caught that mistake and it was actually corrected.
Okay, thank you very much. And then the second part is I can only vote on the minutes for the public session, as I am not permitted in the executive session. So if we could split it into two motions.
Ms. Pelestis, I think it would be okay if you just, on your vote, just said that
Okay.
you vote, yes for the regular session minutes and you abstain on the executive session minutes.
Thank you.
That'll be
Thank you
fine.
very much. Okay. That's it.
We
That's
have-
all I have to say.
Thank you. So we have a motion and we have a second.
Ms. Grisales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Abstain.
Ms. Muller?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruas?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes as to the public session, abstain as to the executive session.
Dr. Sainer?
I have no communications at this time.
I move that the board acknowledges receipt of the certification from our business administrative board secretary as required by law.
Second. Discussion? Questions?
Ms. Grisales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruas?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Attendance report.
Good evening. As we stand on the threshold of a new school year, we are anxiously awaiting the arrival of our teachers on August the 28th, and our students just a few days later on September the 3rd. It's just about here. A great deal of preparation has been occurring during the summer months to ensure a positive and productive learning environment for all the children that we serve. Thus far this summer, we've hired a total of 26 certified staff and 10 non-certified staff. A few remaining positions, about 8 certified, I say about because I never want to be too concrete until we're done, and 3 non-certificated positions remain open, and our leadership team is working diligently to fill those vacancies. I'm happy to announce this evening that 3 critical leadership positions have been filled. Our Supervisor of Special Services, our Director of Guidance, and our Chief Technology Officer. 2 of those leadership positions, the Supervisor of Special Services and Director of Guidance, have been filled from among our own talented staff, and we were fortunate to bring onto our team a very experienced and knowledgeable Chief Technology Officer. After our personnel items tonight, I'm going to ask the 2 supervisors who are with us tonight to make an introductory statement. During the months of July and August, Ms. Dalapaloo and I have met with a number of prospective community partners. This includes, but is not limited to, Connecting Dover, the Girl Scouts of Northern New Jersey, the Boy Scouts of America, the Faith-Based Network, the Dover Public Library, Essex County Educational Services Homeless and Migrant Education Program, the Morris County VOTEC Adult Education Program, and the Morris County Family Success Center. The programs and services offered by our community partners are truly welcomed and appreciated. The programs will supplement our services and in no way diminish or impair the programs that we provide, but rather enhance the work with our students and with our families. All of the partnerships occur at no cost. We are deeply appreciative of this mutual investment for those that we serve. Recently, there have been some questions and concerns expressed by the community relative to school costs and its impact on residential taxes. A review of last year's budget development and presentation indicated that the district has maintained a 2% increase according to state mandates and consistent with prior years. Unfortunately, Dover has been underfunded in state aid for a prolonged period of time, which resulted in reductions in staff, and a limit on the growth necessary for program development and educational progress. Fortunately, this year, the district has realized some increase in state aid, and with that funding, we were able to bolster services, most notably with 3 new resource center teachers for our elementary schools and 3 very needed members for the district child study team. And we will continue to balance austerity and growth to ensure that we meet the needs of our students in keeping with our responsibility to our community taxpayers. Healthy schools provide benefits not only for the students in our schools, but for every homeowner in the communities whose value is dependent on a strong school system. As I referenced earlier in my report, a new Chief Technology Officer is recommended for the board's approval this evening. The role of technology is intertwined with every aspect of our district's functioning, spanning the communication that we have with our community, digital record keeping, and district administration, and ultimately to the 21st century style education delivered to our students. The district has done an outstanding job acquiring digital devices. The challenge that lies before us this year will be to ensure that our technology infrastructure can support both our present usage and our future expansion. One of the tasks that awaits our new Chief Technology Officer will be to audit our present infrastructure and develop a district technology plan to the administration and the Board of Education during the 2019-2020 school year. The board can look forward to this presentation by early spring. And I would like to note at this time as well that we have a resolution on our agenda tonight also for the purchase of a property, former district property, most recently inhabited by Hope House, where we will be moving our central office locations, hopefully by the late spring. What this purchase does for us is it allows us to provide some immediate room that's much needed for programs and services in our schools, and to provide that very necessary instructional space that presently is inhabited by district administration. This will also allow our district administration to inhabit one spot. Right now, as you may know, that we are dispersed in a few different directions, most notably our business office and transportation, and our buildings and grounds are located in the trailers behind the tennis courts. Some of our offices are located here in the high school as you enter the building, and then our technology office also takes up space that could be utilized by our high school programs. So we think that this is a great investment. As you may know, the district had a plan to eventually build, and so there were funds set aside that we have utilized in part, certainly not in total, for this expansion. So I think it's fiscally prudent to do this, and also gives us immediate benefit for our students that we can put into place. So I'm excited to share that recommendation with the board tonight, and that completes my report.
Before I give my first report, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to be sitting here with each of you as we usher in another exciting school year. This is definitely my favorite time of the year. Since I started at Dover August 1st, I'm reminded daily of the long-standing dedication of our staff, and look forward to meeting many more teachers and staff members as they return in a few weeks. I also look forward to meeting my greatest reason for doing the work that I do, which is our students. I am employed by the Board of Education, but I choose to do the work that I do because of how it connects to our students. I look forward to meeting them too. As the summer has been moving quickly, so have some of our teachers who were approved to write curriculum for the district. On tonight's agenda are the following curriculums for your approval: exploration of the arts and intermediate dance. I believe the next agenda will be asking you to approve kindergarten ESL curriculum as well. I will be having further conversations with the curriculum committee of the board on the other outstanding curriculums for the school year. Dr. McLaughlin and I have enthusiastically planned for the various welcome back events for the 2019-2020 school year. This includes our new staff, district administration, and district staff welcome backs. To begin, we will be welcoming our district administration during our admin retreat this week. During this time, Dr. McLaughlin and I will be talking about various themes. One of the themes we will be covering is the idea of One Dover. The phrase One Dover can indicate a multitude of things for us. One Dover signifies for us how the district's success rests upon everyone contributing and working together to achieve our goals and to help students be as successful as they can. In addition to these various leadership conversations, the district administration will receive training from Mrs. Barry Ehrlichson. Dr. Ehrlichson is the former assistant commissioner for the Department of Education who now works with districts in looking at their student data profiles and using that information to guide teachers in their instruction. On Thursday, administrators will have training on the use of the Honeywell system to better communicate with their families and an introductory training from Frontline on our ASOP program. ASOP provides staff absence management and also on the Frontline program, which is our job application system. In the afternoon, we will be spending time to develop building goals as part of our leadership evaluation model. And on Friday, we will take a critical look at the HIV law, our policies and procedures with David Nash. David is the lead legal advisor at NJPSA. Lastly, on Friday afternoon, we will be looking at our core values and how it pertains to our character education. So, very busy week for administrators. Staff convocation is set for August 28th and 29th. The district will be coming together to celebrate the opening of a new school year on the 28th. Dr. McLaughlin and I will be recognizing all of the summer staff who work behind the scenes to make sure that our schools are ready, the buildings are in top shape, students are registered, teachers have the supplies that they need. In addition, we will be reviewing the new staff positions, new community partnerships with the staff. In addition, we'll be reviewing new initiatives for the district. Lastly, we will be asking staff to take a concentrated look this year at their students and what experience they will carry with them through the classroom doors. Our new staff orientation is set for August 26th. At this time, new staff will be given swipe cards, logins, and we'll make sure that all of their technology needs are met so that they can log in on the first day, they can take attendance, and so that they can print. Those are the major things you need to do first day. We will be introducing administrative staff, reviewing district goals, and important policies that are needed for new employees. New staff will then be treated to a tour of Dover on one of our school buses, and then they will end the day at their respective buildings with their building administration. Lastly, I want to update the board regarding our new website. Dr. McLaughlin initiated this project, and I have gladly stepped in to help manage this work. Currently, the framework for the district's main site has been built. By this, I mean the formatting, the pictures, the font style, the way the website will be designed has been set. This is now used to design each school's individual page. The work now underway is migrating information off of our old site onto the new site. This will take some time. The company is projecting a launch date to be about mid to late September. In addition, will be the creation of a mobile app for our website. After the new website is released, we will still have a lot of work to do to beef up what is going to be the framework. I envision our staff becoming fluid masters of design as they manage their own content and information after they've been successfully trained. In addition, I'm hoping that the website will become a one-stop shop for a variety of constituents, including students, parents, outside community agents, and community members.
Good evening. I have some updates in our buildings and grounds area. I'll start with Academy Street. The Academy roof project. The roof project went well and is about 90% complete. We are waiting on the metal work to be finished. The building is watertight as of now. So the roof is all nice and tight, ready to go. Ready for the next rainfall. So the Academy Street AC project, all of the interior work is in progress and 85% complete and is being worked on as of today. Only the exterior work will be in progress during the opening of school, and it will not affect the students or the staff. Academy electrical upgrade, we are currently in progress due to a conflict between the architect plans and the Dover Building Department requirements for the project. This has all been resolved, and the project is moving forward. We are working with JCP&L for a street transformer to be installed as well, and this also will not affect the opening of the new school year. Academy classrooms and hallway painting. 12 rooms and 3 hallways were painted to upgrade the building. At the Dover High School, if you've all noticed as you walked in, the media center hallway has been redone. We have new LED lighting installed. The walls were tiled, painted. We have a nice woodwork trim. And also new doors are coming very soon. And HVAC vents were also installed. At East Dover, the AC project, 15 units are on site currently and being installed and scheduled to be completed this week, and the startup may be done during the start of the school year, but also will not affect the opening and will not affect the heating system. So that's all good for the opening of school. In the transportation area, Bill Chappelle, the transportation supervisor, Diego Ramirez, who's our senior bus driver, and I are looking into a vehicle monitoring system for all of our bus fleet. This would be a nice added feature used to enhance transportation route safety. We had met with one of the vendors yesterday, and we will be meeting with another vendor tomorrow. And I will update the board and the public in a future meeting as to what has transpired and what we have decided upon. In the finance area, we have been very busy. Many hours were spent on the preparation of our preschool grant and our budget. And hopefully the decision will most likely be communicated to us on September 3rd, and hopefully it'll be a positive decision. I've also been helping Kathy Barretto with the school-based youth services grant paperwork. That's also another budget that I get involved in and help to prepare, and that is actually on tonight's agenda for approval. Some other exciting news. Bob Gomes, who's the facility manager, and I met with Generations Lighting to implement LED lighting upgrades for Dover High School in the amount of $185,300. That's actually on tonight's agenda as well. This is provided through the Net Zero Lighting Program, which provides K through 12 school districts with the lighting for free. It's completely subsidized. It's a rebate from the state of New Jersey. So Generation Lighting's company, they're coming in to do an audit of our lighting, and they will supply us with all the lighting materials. These lighting materials will be installed by our maintenance staff and perhaps also some contractors if necessary. Some of the lighting is difficult to reach. So the good news is that the lighting upgrades can go up to as much as $500,000 per utility account. So we're going to see how this all works out, and we could be eligible for more upgrades in the future at other locations in the district. So that would be great. Breakfast after the bell preparation is underway and will be fully implemented for the first day of school. All breakfast for elementary and middle school students will be provided free, no matter what their application status is. The district will absorb that additional expense. And that is my update.
Ms. Rousseau?
Yes.
I would like to thank the administration, Dr. McLaughlin, Ms. Peru, Ms. Denish. I, speaking for myself, really appreciate the Friday updates that we get, and also appreciate that that information that we're receiving has also been turned to the public, so that many of the items within your reports and as well as we go through the agenda tonight, that there is a sharing of information with the board as well as the community. So I thank you very much for the time that you spend doing that for us and the community.
Just need a motion to see a motion for letter.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, discussion?
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
For
There's no vote
Either
actually
is
necessary. It's just
termination of placement.
No, we just, the termination of placements are provided informationally to the board.
We need then a motion for F.
I make a motion.
I second. Roll, please. Discussion, questions before that, sorry.
Ms. Grisales, just a point of order. Would Dr. Sainer, if she moved it, just actually read the motion? Should just
I
say,
believe Mr. Miller moved it, I second.
okay, so if we could just make sure that it's on the record. With those, it's being filmed, so we can read it, but people watching at home can't hear it.
So I make a motion that we approve the board recommendation for field trip as attached.
Second.
Ms. Grisales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
Motion for G, please.
I make a motion for the board to approve or adopt the following resolution for the board recommendation for professional development and travel authorization per the attached list.
Second. Questions, comments?
Ms. Grisales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
The Personnel Committee has not met in August because we just have our regular session. However, I do move that we approve the staff and extra services appointments for the 2019-2020 school year as listed before and as always in compliance with state and federal law, including background checks and completion of required documentation, specifically pre-employment verification. We have a long list, as the superintendent reported. There have been several hires, so you will be reviewing several recommendations for hiring and adjustments of salary and accepting resignations from number 1 to number 37 on page 5.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Ms. Grisales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
If the board,
Ms. Pelestis?
oh, sorry. If the board would allow, I would like to introduce in turn two of our new leaders who are with us tonight. Can I ask first Ms. Josephine Ramirez if she would come forward and introduce herself to the board, our new Director of Guidance.
Hello, everyone. I would just like to say thank you so very much for giving me this opportunity. I am thrilled to be serving Dover in this capacity. I came from North Dover where I served as vice principal for 2 years, and I am so excited to go back to my roots in counseling. So thank you very, very much. I look forward to working with our whole team.
Welcome.
Another one of our talented staff who has been selected to lead our Special Services Department, Ms. Marcia Stiller.
And I'm very, very grateful. I've been the school psychologist, case manager for over 3 years in Dover. And I've worked with a lot of Dover parents and had the privilege of sitting down with them. And what I noticed the most is their sincere desire to do whatever it takes to have their kids succeed. So I'm very grateful to be in that position to help them, to open lines of communication, to have school and homework together. And I can say that in Spanish as well, for the Spanish people. Ha sido un privilegio para mí estar con los padres de Dover y puedo comunicarme mejor con ellos y estoy muy, muy contenta de poder estar con los padres de Dover y trabajar juntos con ellos.
Thank you.
Mrs. Phillips, negotiations.
The negotiations committee had one introductory meeting with the administration, and our next meeting is scheduled for, I believe, September 10th.
Thank you. Ms. Mullen, curriculum?
Yes, I'd like to move that we approve the Algebra 1 pilot program through Agile Minds and the approval of the Spanish 1 textbook, which is wonderful because having researched the textbooks, the language textbooks, which have been outdated, it was nice to see that the fund is starting to catch up with publishers with updating. Yeah, there was a lot of cultural issues in all the language textbooks, so it's nice that we're starting here. So I move that.
Second?
Second. She was in there a little bit before.
One B2, or separate?
We move that the approval of the following curriculum guides for fine and performing arts, exploration of the arts, which was a very interesting read for me, and the intermediate dance, which also was, I know that they were excited, those that had Dance 1 moving to the next level of dance, so I move those curriculums. So second.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
Community relations, Mr. Miller?
Jill, although community relations hasn't met, community relations never ends, so there's always something going on. The public can see through Facebook information for students and when the schools are going to be starting and the start times along with that. And the current website has information as well. I had the opportunity to see, preview the new website. It's really wonderful, very concise, a lot of easy navigation to get to the information. So I think the parents will really enjoy it when they see it. So it's really great. I also had the opportunity to reach out to Mine Hill board president to schedule a community relations meeting. So she's going to get back to me. There are a number of vacations that are ongoing now. So the first week of September, she'll reach out to me and then we'll set up the time to meet with them to work any program issues. That's my report.
I have a small one that, do you remember when we connected the building?
Yes. Oh, what the date was?
Right, so-
Not off the top of my head. but yeah.
So we attended in the month of August, I believe, in the beginning of August, I believe. So do you want to speak a little bit about what was discussed there?
Sure. We had the opportunity to share with the wider group the preschool opening, which was well received, and it was a well attended meeting by a lot of our community partners. We were asked as a school district to formally join Connecting Dover and to provide our logo in addition to the many bona fide agencies that have already done that. So we were happy to do that, and you'll notice in our Facebook now that we share connections with Connecting Dover. I have to say, at my first meeting of that group, how impressed I was with the amount of involvement that is occurring throughout our town, the desire to reach all parts of our community, and the real desire to work in concert with the schools. So we're looking forward to our continued work with Connecting Dover and expanding that relationship. I will mention that Ms. Delapalou and I had some follow-up meeting with the Family Success Center as a result of the Connecting Dover meeting, as well as Rotary, that really, I think, will be a great, strong partnership and will serve our families well.
A little bit of expansion, I wanted to comment that it's been great to see all the connections that you are making with our community. As you mentioned before, all those collaborations, so it's great to to see that in Connecting Dover is kind of like where you see everyone physically. So it was great to see you there, and I'm glad that we're making now an official appearance.
We got there early enough to have seats around the
Yes.
table. That I understand. You
That's
have
the
to
key.
get the-
Or have someone who saves you a seat. In regards to policy committee has not met. We are actually in preparation. We have discussed some of the policies that we will be looking at coming in September when we go back to our regular schedule of committees and regular sessions.
And I do want to add to that the policy consultant that we use, Strauss Esme, is doing a policy check for us that will be done within the next 2 weeks to see the health of our policy manual. And that was a suggestion from our board, thank you very much, to see that service was provided. It's provided as part of our subscription to the policy, so whatever the outcome is, obviously I'll share with the whole board, and especially with the policy.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mr. Gonzalez, Dr. McLaughlin, I believe you also told us that when the new website is up, we will be linked to Strauss Esme, so people looking for a particular policy is for search, as opposed to downloading the entire really big.
Yes,
So
so
that will be a wonderful.
we recently upgraded our subscription to include that search feature, and they will post that for us. They actually host that, and the great piece that it gives us internally as well is this gives us a side-by-side with the current Strauss Esme policies and our own, so that we can here see exactly what the policy is supposed to look like and what ours presently look like. So if we have a policy that might have slipped through the cracks that wasn't updated, we will see that immediately.
Buildings and grounds, Ms. Murray?
Alright, so buildings and grounds, we haven't met. We're going to be meeting with our committee next month, at our next committee meeting. But as far as the report for damages and vandalism for our school property for the month of July, there is none. And I would like to take a motion for the board to, the recommendation and approval for the use of the overboard vote for the following underneath the Boy Scouts.
Second.
I just have a question. Although the Patriots Pat is the person signing up for the group, I will be participating as the Boy Scout leader to help out with the sign-ups. So
It's probably not a formal conflict, but it's, since you're participating, I think it would be best if you just abstain on it.
So we have a motion, we have a second to that. Any other discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller? Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes, and I know you asked for questions, I do have one. I'm sorry, Mr. Sun. How will we get the word out to every single eligible kid in our community that they can come to the school and sign up and even maybe just learn about Boy Scouts? Some of our families may not even understand what Boy Scouts does and is.
Back to school night is a frequent time where in my previous positions I have allowed organizations similar to Boy Scouts to come in and sit at the table. We actually have already asked principals to have about 4 or 5 tables available that night for various groups. So I can certainly reach out, maybe with your help
I
too.
actually was going to talk to you after the meeting. They have reached out to me because I had a meeting with them. That's one of the things that they were asking.
My vote is yes.
Okay.
If I said that,
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
But then, Mr. Senior?
I would first like to move that the board approves or adopts the following resolutions, A1 through 3.
Second. Questions? Roll call.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Mullen?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
I'd also like to move that the board approves or adopts the following resolutions, B1 through number 12, which includes a generous donation to the district scholarship account and the purchase of the property near municipal house.
Questions? Discussion? Roll call.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Ms. Muller? Yes. Mrs. Nevin?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruiz? Yes. Dr. Sainer?
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
We don't have any old business. Any have old business?
Just want to ask a question about board education. People that have signed up, I know that they have an app that you can start signing up for the class. I don't know when that is, but are you registered so that
We don't completely register.
Okay.
The whole district is all of us.
They were pretty far behind on their scheduling and app planning stuff, so I don't know, I'm
I
not sure what.
didn't, I was actually in the site tonight and I did not see that, so I'm not sure. I can check on that tomorrow. But we are signed up as a district. That way we had discounted rate. We did early bird registration.
No more business, then new business. We have a rolling calendar, regular meeting September 3rd at 8 p.m. and our executive starting at 7:15. We have our new board member appointments process, and we will be interviewing candidates on our next meeting. Correct, Ms. Judge?
Do we,
Any questions in regards to the process? The link is on our agenda that we can access.
sorry, do we need to start our meeting a little earlier, considering that we'll be doing this interview process, or, should we be starting at 7? Can we look at that decision as according to what you might have on the agenda?
Well, we've, originally, we were going to try to keep that agenda lean, but it's growing by the day, so I don't see anything, if the board's okay with starting at 7 o'clock, we could do
Is
that.
there any conflict for anyone that day to start earlier? So that means we would start our executive at 6:15, is what we're saying, and start our general at 7?
At 7.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's a good question, I was wondering the same thing.
So starting our executive at 7, and then going into.
Ms. Rosales, if I may. If I remember from a previous regular session, we had discussed requesting letters of intent by today, if I'm remembering correctly, and voting on the appointment of a new candidate on September 3rd. Are we extending the letter of intent date to September 3rd? Are we in receipt of letters of intent today, and those are the only ones we'll consider? I just want to be clear on that process.
Your question is, I believe Ms. Jones, please correct me, I believe the actual date was the 15th of August,
It was.
right? That was advertised, and then we were going to do the interviews today, but I believe 2 candidates that we have were not both available for today, and they are both available on the 3rd. And so then the board was polling in regards to if we could move it, and so that's why now the interviews were moved. We did receive the letters of intent, and so that is, I'm assuming we would be getting those before our interview.
Yes, I will send that information to the board.
And then we'll interview them on the 3rd.
And the letters of intent, it's two separate
Correct.
candidates.
2 separate candidates. And then we will be, I'm assuming at that September 3rd, after the interviews, we would be voting on that same day, correct?
Correct.
And for transparency, what are, if any, agreed upon criteria that the board has adopted regarding that appointment?
I believe we have not really agreed on anything. We're going with kind of what is a requirement, right? Which are.
Well, right, just a voting by a certain date before the election, which is in that link. But other than complying with those regulations, each board member is just going to vote one or the other.
And the way the law speaks to that is that if you have the interviews or statements or however it's handled that night in public, then the board members can the vote will have to be in public. But if you had the interviews in private, which I don't think is the plan, but if you did, then the board members would have to state their reasons for how they're voting. But since the process, the interview part of it is going to take place in public, then the board members can just vote based on what their personal
What do the interviews entail?
Well, that part is up to the board. Typically, many boards will just ask the individuals to prepare a statement, give them a certain amount of time, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it may be, and ask them to read the statement, and they'll just take that into consideration. Other boards may ask questions of the candidates. The issue, and if that's the case, then my advice always is that the exact same questions should be presented to each candidate. But the problem, not necessarily a problem, but the issue with that is you have to be careful because the one person may, if one person goes first, the other person first, because they say that so that's just something that it's up to the board to decide how they want to handle it. It could be alternating perhaps with one question and someone else on the other.
And I believe, I believe we had discussed about hearing their statement in regards to why they want to participate.
That's very common
I
way
think
to-
what we had discussed last time, I don't know if anyone else recalls that.
Mr. Salas, is it possible, and Mr. Krug, is it possible that should we decide to hear the two statements, is it possible to go into executive session, discuss,
Yes.
and come back out and vote?
Absolutely.
I think we discussed that too.
Yes.
Is that clear for everyone? Yeah, kind of like what we're going to do then? So we'll hear the statement, we'll close the public session, we'll go into executive and come back and, correct?
Close if needed.
Right.
Right.
Thank you. Yes.
So the next item is mine, but before I get to the school calendar, I think there was an inquiry by some of the board members about possibly moving the time of the board meeting to a little bit earlier. That might make it a little more accessible to the public. So I don't know if that's something that we wanted to discuss to see how the board felt about a regular meeting time that was earlier than 8 p.m.
We have some discussions, and I think we talked about this way back in the spring, I think, and if we said let's start with the new school year, so we have that ability.
So can I ask a question about calendars? Because I'm looking at this,
Just look at that first meeting and then plug down.
the committee meetings.
Right, so
Yes.
the meetings will change.
Okay.
So the committee meetings, this is just a proposal. I had asked the board, and the board was open to not having all of its committee meetings on one night, so that we would be able to, so that basically I would be able to attend each of the committee meetings. And so this is a proposal that we were to spread out our committee meetings. What we tried to do was, now our budget and grounds committee, which I know has to be reestablished because it's two committees coming into one, but what we tried to do was not have too many people out for too many nights, so hopefully we did an okay job with that. It's a little bit daunting. If this doesn't look great, we can take another swipe at it. I just wanted to give you something to look at. So these would be committees that would occur throughout the month, and then we have our regular board meeting tonight.
All right, so I guess when I look at this, I see that September 3rd is a meeting, which would be for that,
Right.
and then September 17th. But then when I look at October, there's only one. That-
We have one board meeting. That's the board meeting.
But normally we would be looking at two or just one board meeting.
One board meeting a month. This really was designed for committee meetings because my understanding is that the board is continuing to work as a committee and board meeting.
So I think that September 3rd, it may be a mistake in regards to, when is our regular meeting is the 3rd, right?
We-
Not the
It's
17th.
but the third is an additional meeting.
It's where it says
So we're gonna
meeting in
have
capital
two.
letters, that means board or meeting of the whole board.
So we're essentially meeting 3 times in September. A committee meeting, right? The 3rd of regular special meeting, and then again on the 17th. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Ms. Rosales, if I may. If we use the correct language for the meetings, it might help us.
Correct.
So September 3rd is a special meeting. September 17th is a regular session. And September 9 are committee meetings.
9 and
10 and 24.
Yeah.
Oh, right, 9 for budget, grounds, and community, and et cetera.
Thank you.
And again, if people have suggestions, I'm happy to, I think with committee meetings, we could, since they don't have to go out through public notice, we can figure them out. I just wanted you to have something to look at.
So you can take that into consideration when we're talking about moving our regular meeting to an earlier start time.
So, Mr. Salas, I move that we move our regular session for our regular sessions for the 2019-2020 school year from 8 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Second.
Any discussions?
I seconded so we could discuss it. Thanks, Karen. And does anyone want it earlier than that? If we had a 7 o'clock start time, that would mean a 6:15 executive session. I would find that tricky. 6:15 would be a little.
So our executive session, if it would be a public start at 7:30, would be at 6:45.
Correct. If needed, I
6:45 would be the start of the executive session, and 7:30 would be the public session.
Under the current motion.
only comment, if we needed to move it earlier, I'm available. If there's anything, is there anyone else that would prefer it earlier before we take a vote on this motion?
Excuse me,
Yes.
may I? Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I just wanted to ask a question with regard to the change of the meeting times for our regular meetings. Has anyone identified an issue with the meeting starting at 8 o'clock? One of the concerns, for lack of a better word, that I've had has to do with how short our executive session is, and there is often a great deal to discuss during the executive session. I recognize sometimes there's not as much, but I guess I'm looking for a rationale and perhaps some explanation from the board members or the administration as to why we would be changing our 8 o'clock meeting to an earlier time.
Ms. Grisala, since I made the motion, if I may explain it?
It doesn't matter which
Carol.
one of us explains it. I know, okay, you can go ahead, Carol.
No, I didn't know if you had a question. You're welcome to
Go
explain.
ahead, Ms. Mullin.
This had come up from our audience, and we had students participating, the meetings went late. If we started including any of our students, or we want to include our staff, especially those who have to travel outside of the town hall, I think it really puts a burden on them to participate in our meetings. So it was brought up from the audience, I believe a couple of times, for us to consider moving it earlier so it could be accommodated. You know, those with young children, I know getting home, getting them ready, because they have to start their day. And I'm hoping that we eventually are able to have students showcasing some of the things that they're doing throughout the school year. So I think it would make it reasonable to bring them in. That's just my thought.
Okay, so to have a start time for the regular meeting of 7:30.
Yes, and 6:45 for executive, and if we needed to move or have more time for executive, maybe we could start at 6:30, depending on the topics that are being discussed.
And I also would imagine that we could break our executive session in light of the fact that the discussion has to do with, community members being able to participate earlier. If we needed additional time with our executive session, we could always leave the executive session at 6:45, come into the meeting at 7:30, and if there was any unfinished business in the executive session, we could go into executive session after
Right.
the board meeting.
Yes. All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Any other discussion? Questions? So just to recap, the motion by Ms. Ruiz is to change our meetings for 2019-2020 school year to 7:30 p.m. for the public and 6:45 for our executive. Is that correct?
Our regular meetings, so we're not talking about that special meeting
Correct.
You could certainly include the special meeting if you want to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
So if I may
moving
amend
forward.
my motion, Ms. Grisales, I move that for the 2019-2020 school year, we schedule regular sessions beginning at 7:30 p.m. We schedule executive sessions when needed at 6:45 p.m. And the already scheduled September 3rd session, special session, for that same 7:30 p.m. start time.
Can we do that in regards to publicizing? Do we have enough time
Yes.
to advertise the change? All right, if no further
Second.
discussions, I think we had a second. Oh, okay, and we can have roll call then, right?
Just Ms. Grisales, for a point of order, because it was amended, it needs a second again.
Okay, thank you.
Unless is everyone okay with the amendment?
Yes.
Then you could do it
So
by
you
act.
do a consensus.
All right, so I have one other
Wait
item.
1 second, we have to have a vote.
Oh, I thought that was the acclamation.
That was a vote.
Yeah, we have for not a
Vote on
second, sorry. I know this is slow and painful, but we're getting through it.
Ms. Grisales.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Ms. Mullins.
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting.
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips.
Yes.
Ms. Ruas.
Yes.
Dr. Sainer.
Yes.
Ms. Pelestis.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I mean to jump the gun.
No, thank you for everyone's patience.
Under new business, I had asked if we could take a look at the school calendar that was previously adopted. And as you may know, the school district, for at least a number of years, has had 182 school days per year for students. The mandate in New Jersey is for 180 school days. What I would like to propose is that we move 2 of those school days to professional development days. Review of our calendar presently has very, very limited professional development opportunities, and especially spacing them throughout the course of the school year. As we've already discussed, there are a number of professional developments that we would like to provide to our staff, and having those opportunities, especially one closer to the end of the school year, would also kind of allow us to recap and set the tone for the next school year. So my proposal would be to provide professional development and non-school days for our students on February the 14th and May the 22nd. I am aware that traditionally May the 22nd, being the Friday before Memorial Day, is a day that if we have excess snow days left over, we sometimes provide that as a unassigned day in the school district. If that were to occur, we can always move it back to the 21st. So my proposal would be for February the 14th to be a professional development non-student day, May the 22nd to be a professional development non-school day for students, and then I have a couple other comments, but that I'd like to put that out there first to see if there's support from the board.
Mr. Sauce?
I completely support this idea. Our teachers deserve more professional development. This is a way to provide it to them in-house. Bringing seniors and our Power Groups team appropriate, and thank you for taking my comment into consideration regarding that Friday. Thank you.
Ms. Long?
My question is, have you received the input from the administration, the teachers, and whoever is on that committee to identify what training?
Trainings, yes. So what we will definitely be reaching out and working with both our administration and with our teachers to identify the areas of training that they would most like to see. That's absolutely an area, and also training that's in keeping with the district goals that the board adopted this year.
Should we approve this change in the schedule, I would encourage you to communicate this as quickly as possible to our parents, who will have to make adjustments for those
Yes.
dates.
Thank you. So
Ms. Mullen?
before we vote, the other piece that has a calendar implication is I would like to remove the word tentative from the high school graduation date and make that a firm date. There are certainly ways that if we have snow days, we can work around graduation, but I do believe that graduation is a date that needs to be firmly planted, one that we know that's going to occur. Had some preliminary discussion with Mr. Franks about reinstituting project graduation, which would be a great event to have in conjunction with the end of the school year for our seniors. If you do have project graduation, you want to make sure that your graduation date doesn't change because too many things ride on that date being firm. And just in keeping that, since I'm talking about graduation, we've also begun discussion about having a outdoor graduation ceremony this school year. So I just want to put that all out there in our discussion of the calendar.
Mr. Salas?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. You mentioned the project graduation, which is very important, but in our community, graduation is more than just a rite of passage. For many of our students, they may be the first person in their family to graduate, and it's really, I'm sorry, this is a personal issue for me, for some of my students, and it is really important that their families both know about it and are able to travel here, maybe from other countries, to be able to participate and celebrate with their students. But it is also important that the outdoor ceremony allows more than just a few family members to attend. And there are issues with that, and I understand that, and I hope our community will be understanding about the challenges that go with an outdoor celebration, but I think this is a very positive move for our district to really celebrate our students' achievements.
I just have a question. What would be the contingency plan?
Well, the contingency plan would be, we've had, the discussion that we've had so far would be that we would need to establish a definite time frame for making a decision on the outdoor ceremony. So if the forecast was one that we were worried about, we might, for example, have to say, well, that decision has to be made by noon. We can't write it right. You know, I've been in some districts where we've said we're going to give it to 3 o'clock or 3:30. Given where people would have to, the different locations on the inside and the outside would not be an easily traversed area, we would probably have to make our decision around noon. And so we would communicate that out to the parents well in advance so that they don't.
Mr. Salas, if I may, point of order. We're having a discussion that includes voting and we haven't made a motion. So if we do need to vote on this calendar change, then I move that we adopt Dr. McLaughlin's recommendation to make February 14th and May 22nd professional development days with the possibility to move the 22nd to the 21st as needed, and to make the graduation date a firm date. You can continue.
It was being discussed as part of new business, but it can be continued to discuss.
Amendment to the motion, I believe that Ms. Ruby said the 22nd. I believe the alternative to the 24th is the 21st. Just
Yes,
so that we're clear
yes.
on the date.
So the date is the 22nd,
The date
alternate
is the
21st or
22nd,
24th?
but of May, if there's a snow day contingency where we have snow days to give back, the 22nd would likely be a holiday and we'd make the 21st. But I'll put that as a footnote in the calendar.
So then an amendment's not needed because that was what I said. It's not the 24th, 22nd or 21?
That's what I took.
I don't know if it's appropriate for me to speak.
Well, that's-
Yes, that's what we're checking.
Is there a motion and a second?
Yes,
There
there
is, Ms. Balestas, yes.
Okay, I do want to add, I'd like to add to what Dr. Cedar was saying. I am really pleased to hear that we are going to have a definite graduation date, because I know that in the past, there have been difficulties with families that are coming in, that are coming for the graduation, and the graduation date is changed. So I think having a firm graduation date is critically important. But the other thing, I also love the idea, and I know that many school districts in our area do outdoor graduations and have had experience with that myself. I think it's a wonderful idea because it allows our entire community to take part, and I just have to applaud the administration on looking at that early enough so that everyone is aware of it it, and I think it's a great idea as well.
And it's always great to have Mr. Franks in the audience to give me some hints. Prom is on May 21st, so we, we can still work around the 22nd if it's a snow give back day. So, thank you. Not messing with prom.
And I just wanted to make sure that we're clear that graduation is on the 19th, and that's the firm date.
June 19th.
Ms. Responsive, if I may, I think we missed something, or I missed something in Dr. McLaughlin's recommendations of changing our calendar, clarifying that we're changing our calendar from 182 days to 180 days for students. Yeah, so then I'm amending my motion to say, recommend that the board adopts Dr. McLaughlin's recommendation to change our school calendar from 182 days to 180 days, allowing for 2 professional days, February 14 and May 22nd, with an alternative of May 21st, and firming up our graduation date, June 19th.
And now, not to complicate this any further, but since May 21st is prom, the give back day would be on the other side of the weekend. It would be the Tuesday. Yeah. So that would be May the
26th.
6th. Yes. That's good. I have a lot.
Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yes.
Then?
Yes. Roll call. Roll call. Roll call for this, please.
Ms. Rosales?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Mullin?
Yes.
Mrs. Nutting?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Ms. Ruelas?
Yes.
Dr. Sainer?
Absolutely yes.
Ms. Pelestis?
Yes.
Again, thank you everyone for your patience. I'm glad that we can have this process in our public, and this is how we roll. Ms. Rosales?
May I do business?
Yes, please.
I would like to express my sincere thanks to the staff of the Dover Marching Band. I had the pleasure and the privilege of chaperoning this year. I got back at 5:10 today. I can't say enough about the staff. The director, Dan Vasquez, Heather Rolandelli, Lindsay Malco, and Hannah Seago. Our band is, as I found out from talking to the other bands, they're understaffed. We have about 50% of the staff members that other bands have, and yet they did it all. These staff members are on and with our students from 7 a.m. till 11 or later each night. They are motivating, encouraging, demanding everything you want in an educator, and our kids responded to that. They have a wonderful show. This year it's West Side Story. It looks great so far. We've got some refining to do. The kids worked so hard. We were complimented by the staff of the camp. We go away to Camp Canadensis in Pennsylvania, and the camp actually complimented our students. They not only take their trash away at dinner, they actually clean the table before the staff comes and cleans the table. And one student actually made the comment that they hate the night that they serve the orange beverage because it stains the table and they can't clean that off. So it's just really, the kids are just wonderful and work so hard. It was hot, it was sunny, they were out there all day, and they did a great job. And I also wanted to thank Katie Bartnick and Rich Clowley. They both also chaperoned. Rich does not even have a student in the band, but goes to serve as an EMT to keep our students safe. And I hope you all come out to the first football game and enjoy that amazing show.
Thank you for that. Thank you. A lot of work, a lot of volunteering, a lot of hours. Right. Thank you. Anyone else with new business?
Ms. Pelestis, if I may?
Ms.
I'm sorry, Ms. Rosales.
It's okay. I don't get offended. Ms. Mullen, you spoke her first.
Okay, thank you. We have legislative updates. We on the board, we have legislative reps, it's Ms. Pelestis and myself, and we have a lot of new laws that we will be expected to implement once regulations are passed, which will take some time, but it's good for us to be aware of them and be prepared. We have Mallory's Law. It's the proper legislative number is S3433, and it revises provisions that were already existing in the anti-bullying law, which create civil liability, which means you can be sued in civil court. The parent or presumably a minor of who is found guilty of cyber harassment or harassment, and it also increases the fines. So it's important for our community to know that if your child is engaged in cyber harassment, bullying, harassment, it could escalate to not just a suspension or a fine for your child. Also, the parent may be found responsible for that behavior. Aaron's Law, and that is starting this fall, deals with sexual abuse and sexual harassment, and it requires that the district provide age-appropriate education on sexual harassment. And both Mallory's Law and Aaron's Law are named after victims. Well, Mallory, a victim of death by suicide due to bullying, and Aaron, a survivor of child sexual abuse, advocated for that law in over 35 states, and now New Jersey is one of them. We also have mental health instruction that is being required, and that's S2861 at K through 12 to build awareness and encourage treatment. S3160 requires a 4-year pilot program testing later school start times. So I know that that's been in the news a lot lately. And while certainly we can speculate that a kid that has to get up later will stay up later, the research shows that the later school start times for high school students improves mental health, physical safety, and learning. So, and all these are supported by the New Jersey School Boards Association. And finally, we have the Youth Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, which was a joint resolution, not exactly a law, but that was passed, making September the Youth Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. So I look forward to learning what our district will do to ensure that we are honoring that resolution.
Thank you for turning those in a very good summary of the very long explanation. I know Dr. McLaughlin, you had regards to the legislation.
Yes, well, as has already been mentioned, in some instances we are awaiting guidance from the Department of Education in terms of implementation. We already are gathering information and working with our staff to implement Suicide Awareness Month, not just during the month of September, but obviously to have those programs occur throughout the school year, because mental health is certainly it's a concern for all of us. We know that it's one of our top priorities, and in terms of our curriculum development, we are working with the other item that you mentioned about embedding information so that our students don't become victims of any type of harassment, especially sexual harassment.
Ms. Mullen.
I was speaking to Mrs. Phillips before the meeting. Our middle school football team, we had a successful sign-up and we had the first game when?
I don't know when their first game is. Their first scrimmage is Saturday.
Saturday. Okay.
The middle school, the high school scrimmage is tomorrow at 10. Yes. But I don't know when their first game is.
So we had how many students sign up? 60?
I know that when I spoke with Mr. Bulk, he said that we had over 40. I believe there was the number that he mentioned to me. I don't know what the actual enrollment was, but that was based on the information but certainly a healthy team.
That's wonderful.
Great.
Thank you.
That is
I don't think they can all eat the brownies.
No, I got a couple dinner.
Well, we should make the brownies.
I did.
And then any other new business? That's great. That's great. Three comments. So I want to open now to our public comment section. The board recognizes the value of public comment on education issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters. To ensure a fair and orderly expression of such comment, each statement shall be held for a time period of 3 minutes. Public comment shall be entertained at approximately 30 minutes upon the discretion of the proceeding officer. So this is an agenda item and any other item. Anyone? Yes.
Lynn Laurie, 10 Hillside Avenue. I attended the last meeting, and there was no discussion of potentially purchasing a building. And now I see $1.4 million. I guess it's in negotiations. Now I know, Dr. McLaughlin, you spoke about it this evening. What I'm wondering about, and I'm surprised the board wasn't asking any questions. Will renovations need to be done down at the building? How do you picture utilizing the building? I know you spoke about the different departments being there. Then I'm also wondering, there's going to be a vacancy here. And I'm wondering how that will be done, and if there's any renovations that will take place here, because I think that's important, and I think that's really important questions for the board to be asking. So I hope someone will come up with an answer.
Thank you.
I can provide just a quick synopsis to you to let you know that obviously we have been providing information to the board so that there is information that the board may not need to ask questions about at this point, but certainly in regard to the building itself, we've conducted walkthroughs. Our attorney is doing his due diligence in terms of providing us with a window of time so that environmental studies and other studies of the building can be done in the event that there's any concern, just like you would have if you purchased any residence or business. And in terms of the rooms here and other rooms in other schools that we will be able to make available, one of the items that I neglected to mention to the board was that we will also have a large space at Eastover that becomes available because of this. There's little renovation except for the area that right now is occupied by the superintendent's office. And that would most likely require a division so that we could use that for at least 2 spaces. The board conference room could be used as it is for its full instructional space. The technology room is already ready as a classroom. So it would be some renovation, but not major. And our estimate at this point is that the attention that we need to give to the building that we're acquiring is also fairly minor. It is not for students, so the requirements when students are not being instructed in the building are not as dominant as they would be in a school.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm John Caniglio, 24 Taylortown Road, Montville. Just want to say one quick thing. Just thank you very much for changing the time to 7:30. We've been discussing that and working on that for a long time, and I'm very thankful, and our teachers are very thankful, and I think we'll see more community involvement, and our community partners will come in, because sometimes meetings run until 10, 10:15, 10:30, even 11 o'clock in the past, and that's on a school night, that's very late for people to come out. So I sincerely appreciate what you did tonight. That's a very big step in the right direction, and I just appreciate the cohesiveness that we've seen the last couple of meetings here, and the togetherness that you're showing with the community and with the teachers and everything. So we really appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Is there anything else? Anyone from the public? Hearing no one, seeing no hands. Close the public comment section. Just wanted to add really quickly, I'm sorry, there was a new business that I forgot to add. Ms. Janice, I know that we had already scheduled our field rep from NJHBA to come. Can you give us a quick update on that in regards to why and what we're doing?
Oh, yes.
Thank
So
you.
on September 17th, Charlene Peterson from New Jersey School Boards Association will be attending. She will be reviewing the results of the board self-evaluation, and then also be working with the board on a vision and mission statement development.
Ms. Grisales, if I may.
Yes.
People who are not currently on the board or who have not served on the board may not be familiar with the Sunshine Law, which requires all our discussions to be public, with the exception of, I think it's 9 topics which must be discussed in executive session. Negotiations regarding contracts are one of those topics, so are personnel matters, for example. So I just want to clarify so the entire public is aware that this board could not discuss in regular session publicly or ask questions in regular session publicly about a contract to purchase the building where Hope House used to be while that contract is still pending and those negotiations are still going on. Certainly Dr. McLaughlin was very generous and transparent in providing some information tonight. But that helps explain why the board did not make those questions yet. We did have plenty of questions in executive session, which is the proper place for those questions.
Thank you, Ms. Ruiz. Okay. So I have a motion.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming. Gracias a todos. Have a good night.
Night.